So how appropriate is this? We are not only at the Boilerroom event honoring Frankie Knuckles with Joe Smooth. Hi, Joe.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
But listen to how cool this is. We are at this event, which is at the Smart Bar, which is at the Metro, which is in Chicago, which the DJ who opened the club up is Joe Smooth. How about that?
Right, yeah, back in '83, I was the main house DJ at Smart Bar. So it's like, I guess this is where the legacy of Smart Bar started. Just the eclectic mix of music, me bringing in drum machines, keyboards, playing along with the music. A lot of the DJs back at the time, I was the north side DJ and everybody else was on the south side, and they would all come up here to, learn about the import music and the
I should be saying that because that is exactly the truth. The DJs around the city were all based on the south side. You were the only DJ that was doing everything on the south side. I mean downtown and south of there. But you were the only DJ to do what you're doing, bring it there, influence every DJ that walked in there. And listen, that's not a bad thing. I mean, you had Frankie Knuckles walk in there and see what you're doing and watching you.
Right, yeah, Frankie used to come down here all the time. He became good friends with Joe. He would do parties here too. That's kind of how it kind of ended up doing this tribute here at Smart Bar. It's just the history that's grown from here. You used to have people, Farley used to come up here to the Smart Bar. Everybody came to the Smart Bar.
Yeah. They came because Joe was that good of a DJ. And just to let you know what that means is, the sign here, take a look at that sign up there real quick. That's Club Metro. Metro is a rock icon in Chicago. And in their basement, which was not, their big money maker, was the Smart Bar. And Joe took that and all of a sudden that became a place where everyone had to go to. And that's not easy.
No, it's not, no. Especially bringing everybody up here on the north side, like totally out of the way from everything that was going on the south side of Chicago. And the Smart Bar, at some point it became too busy, so we had to move it upstairs to Metro. We get 1,500, 2,000 people up here every night.
So you guys got to understand what this means. If you're not a DJ, you won't understand. But what's the guy who was Smashing Pumpkins? What's his name? I forget, but you heard of Smashing Pumpkins. These guys, everyone was here through these doors, all these big rock guys, Nine Inch Nails and Ministry and all that stuff. The point is that they were playing the music scene as rock and roll, but really what kept this place moving on the highs of everyone, in my opinion, was Joe Smooth and the house scene.
Right. It was because what I would do is incorporate like different kind of beats, house grooves, bringing some Philly sound music, gospel music. It was very eclectic. And we were just a very eclectic crowd, so it was easy just to try new things and experiment. People were very open, and I think that's one of the factors to help develop even the whole genre of house music.
Joe, let me tell you this. I don't know if you realize this. I've never told you this, Joe. And I've known each other since the very beginning. But when people would ask, and a lot of people did back in the day, what was house music? How could you describe the fashions and all that? You had to say smooth. And Joe Smooth was the, true story.
Yeah.
The music that you played, the fashions that you wore, you were not, doing hip hop. You were not trying to be anything, but you were just smooth, casual, and that's really what house was about. It was not hanging pants. It wasn't anything overdressed or anything like that. It was just natural, and that's why everyone loved it.
Yeah, I never knew that. Now I know. Wow.
Now, back in Joe's history, a little bit about history sharing here. Joe Smooth, aside from Promised Land, was a producer or co-contributor for one of the, if not the first, Real House record called it's Jack Tracks with Chip E. He did the keyboards on that.
Right, did the keyboards on Jack Tracks. Chip E, Kirk, Landrum got together. What happened? Chip came in the Smart Bar because I had a Mirage keyboard.
Mirage. It was an
8-bit sampler keyboard. Because before that, everybody was basically using the Boss sample pedal, which didn't have any time to sample. So Chip came up and asked, because he knew I always had the keyboard and drum machines, I had Smart Bar playing, and asked me to work with him on this project. So we put together the Jack Tracks EP. I'm doing the Time to Jack on Time to Jack.
You're doing the vocals.
That's my first vocal performance.
And how great of vocals that is, Time to Jack. A lot of people want to claim their vocals, but it was Joe Smooth.
Right. And I would do it now, but I can't get my voice that on. Time to Jack.
Yeah, there you go. I heard it.
Right.
Yeah. So just to let you know, is Joe Smooth with his keyboard is the reason why DJ International had to get that keyboard, and a lot of other keyboards by Mirage and Sonic.
Yeah.
And then what about Liddell Townsend? He was involved in there, or what do you think? Somewhere, yeah. And because I know he wants to be involved in that record, and I don't blame him. That is probably the first record. And big ups to you, Chippy, for doing it. I know that Steve Hurley and Farley all wanted to start jacking right after that, and they did the Jackmasters, the original Jackmasters.
As a matter of fact, Farley, before before coming to Smart Bar, he thought like the club music, the disco, the music that was being played at the what you consider house music, or music that was played at the warehouse, was really just for a gay clientele, and at that time he was kind of maybe homophobic. So what happened was, him seeing that I was playing to a straight crowd made him totally change his whole direction, his musical direction, and that's when he started playing.
But that's important, because people have to understand that that's what house music was about. It wasn't about any one group of people, whether you're straight, gay, Puerto Rican, black. This was why it's what it is.
Which is good music, for people to have a good time, feel good, and just really dance your cares away. Get away from the week. Come out and release all your and somebody recently said to me, Marshall Jefferson recently said, if he went to the Chosen Few picnic and told 30,000 people that the music that was played at the warehouse wasn't house, that they would probably throw him off out of the park. But I told him that sometimes the truth isn't the popular conversation. And really, the tight style of music that was played was like house, like, for instance, if I had a certain kind of outfit on, people would say, "Oh, that's a house outfit. That's really house. That's something you would wear to the warehouse." Or if the way that person thought, or somebody's thought process, they'd be like, "Oh, wow, that's really house." So the music was a style of music, because you could have rock music, you could have all kinds of different genres of music playing at the warehouse. So people say, "Oh, that's house," but it wasn't the genre of music, that myself, Chippy, Steve Hurley, Farley, Marshall Jefferson, that we created. So there's a difference, and people need to understand the difference.
Well, let me say that. I mean, a lot of people confuse the warehouses. There was one warehouse that Frankie Knuckles spun at, which predated house music. And then there was a warehouse on Randolph, which you were one of the owners of it, with myself and Julian Perez, and you were the main DJ there before Mike Dunn came in, who's now part of the big Chosen Few scene.
Right. So like even that. So when we opened up the warehouse, it was really to promote house music properly at a club called the Warehouse. The original Warehouse, house music actually wasn't invented at that time. So it just kind of there's just a confusion with those names, and like I said, there's a style and then there's a genre of music. And when we opened up, it was a tribute to the original Warehouse, but it was a tribute, and then it was a way to actually promote and get people to hear actual house music.
Right. And I think Frankie's made a huge contribution, probably the most loved DJ in the world. But the Warehouse on Randolph is really where jacking music was played, you know, Joe Smooth and everybody else. But at the same time, you know, it was in a warehouse neighborhood too, and all that was part of the mystique of what was going on. Joe, we're going to continue this later. More and more concepts and true discussions about house music.
Sounds good.
Yo, this is Mike Dunn, the original DJ at the warehouse on Randolph. So, a lot of this started for a lot of people back then, the warehouse. It's going down. My man Terry Hunter's on the box. House music for life.